Okay, today we are going to discuss about supply chain management. Actually, supply chain management starting with activities connected with the business process from connecting the supplier to customer. If a business wants to create a product and services to the customer through a value adding process that we have already understood, so the supplier should be connected with the business process. So in this process, the procurement is going to play a vital role. So in the supply chain, we can say it's a chain that connecting the supplier and also the customer in the business process. So the supplier should be connected with the business process through the procurement process. So business is going to connect the supplier by identifying the right supplier, by sourcing the right supplier, and strategically connect them for long-term business process. We call that strategic sourcing. So we have to connect the supplier with the business. That is the one part that we have to understand in the supply chain process. Right. So the second part that we need to understand in the supply chain process, we have to connect the supplier through a logistic process. We have a logistics, inbound logistics and outbound logistics. Inbound logistic is the logistic that is connecting the raw material with the business process, especially for operational purposes. So the raw materials, when we procure from the supplier, these materials are going to be stored in the warehouses, and then that is the materials to be maintained in the warehouses. The material management should be there. So economy of order quantity, that should be always kept in mind while managing these materials. At the same time, we have to understand when managing the materials, the cost of holding, the inventories when we are keeping in the warehouse, the cost should be minimized. At the same time, the ordering cost should be minimized. So that is what we call economy of order quantity. So when we are dealing with the operational process, especially the procurement process, we have to make sure the materials are kept according to the supply and demand. According to the demand of the customer that is forecasted by the marketing department, the supply should be made available. So the material should be kept in the warehouses. We will discuss about the material management and warehouse management in different subjects as a concept if we can continue. At the same time, operations. Now, when you look at the operations, we have already discussed the video or in the subject of operations management. So converting the raw material into a final product through a value adding process is called operations. So when we are dealing with the operational process, we have to make sure the operations are always creating values for customers. So in the value creation process, supply of materials plays a crucial role. So we have to understand what are the process that we have to always keep in mind in creating values to customers in the operational process according to the demand and supply. At the same time, there is, we are calling in the supply chain, that is what we call demand management. So the demand managements are always kept in mind through outbound logistic process. Outbound logistic process, that is always kept in the finished product that is taken to customer's hand through the channels. We call that distribution channels. So channel management is one of the most important thing in the supply chain process. So in the supply chain, we have to understand the final product taking to customer hand through the channels of distributions with the support of the logistic process we call outbound logistic process, by maintaining these material kept in the warehouses and packaged that has to be taken to customer hand according to the request, according to the demand coming from the customer side. So through the channels, it has to be delivered. For example, the channels, we can say the agents and wholesalers, retailers. These are the people who are participating in the business to business. We are calling that these are people who are linked to business process in creating values to customers through supplying the final product to customers. At the same time, customers should always be kept in mind by maintaining customer relationship management. We have understood about what customer wanted, required, that has to be created. So that is the value for customers, value for money. So we have to keep in mind satisfying the customers, always kept in mind. So customer satisfaction and customer delight are the one always bring more customers to business. So the customer should always maintain in the process of supply chain. So supplier relationship management, distribution channel, we have the channels of distribution management and maintaining the relationship with the channel partners, and we have to maintain customer relationship management. These are the management that we have to always look at it while managing the supply chain process. At the same time, there is one more important thing that we have to consider in the supply chain, that is what we call return management. When there is a return coming from the customer, that also has to be kept in mind. That has to be managed wisely, because the returns are waste. So waste management is going to contribute in the corporate social responsibility. So we will discuss about what is corporate social responsibility later on. So one of the most crucial point that we have to understand, waste should always be minimized. At the same time, waste is going to bring dissatisfaction of the customers. So waste should not become harmful to environment. So on that basis, return has to be kept in mind, and also it should be properly managed and also reused and refurbished in the business process in order to create more values to business. So these are the things that we have to understand in the supply chain process. So supply chain is connecting the supplier and the customer through a value adding process.